Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is going to be a water elemental reading for October 1st through 31st. I've got some Halloween decor that I've put out here. The cat skeleton, even though skeletons don't really have ears. And this spider that I didn't really want to put out, but I stuffed there on top of the old sewing machine. So anyway, that's the guy. Make it a little spoopy here. Some mood lighting. No, not so much. Okay. It's kind of distracting. Anyway, the battery isn't dead yet. The reading that I'm going to do is a new reading that I was figuring out the other day. It's called Triangulation. So for the triangle of the reading, I'm going to be using the Thoth deck here. Which I've already cleared and shuffled. Let's do a little bit more just for funsies. And I've got for intro and conclusion, I've got my I'm gonna think of it in a second. Morgan Greer Tarot, which I did already clear and shuffle, but I'll give it another little. I know those piles weren't even. They still smell just a little bit like Sharpie. Okay. So, this reading that I was thinking about the other day, I should point out, how does that look? Yeah, there we go. Oh, there's a double there. Well, that's not going to work. This is the first time I'm doing this reading, and I already screwed it up. This is for water elementals, right? If we're dealing with planets, I've got Neptune and the Moon and Pluto. We've also got this sort of double scorpionic energy happening because the Sun's going to move into Scorpio at the end of October there. Where am I at? Yeah, on the 23rd. And then we have the last day of the pagan year there on Halloween. Which is very auspicious. Pluto going direct in Capricorn sometime between the 6th and the 18th of October, because that's when all those 4 retrogrades are going direct. So we've got Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter and then Mercury. Neptune is going to remain retrograde in Pisces. So if you're looking for your sign, you've got Pisces, we've got Cancer, and we've got Scorpio. If you want to watch for astrological purposes. I don't know what I'm going to say. I haven't had wine in a long time, so my brain is gone. It's been a rough day. The water elementals. So this triangulation, I was thinking, well, if I want to do past, present, and future, I've got that in my regular reading with the past, present, future, and the wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. But I want to do this more focused. Like I wanted a reading that was, quote, shorter. Although for me, short readings, I can do an hour on a single card if I get going. So this is supposed to be 3 cards. I've got a double here in the past. So apparently this is the past. And this is the future. And right here in the middle, on the top, I have the present, which is in the challenged position. So perhaps this reading is designed for something that's currently challenging. The idea is that it's pinpointing in time because the past and the present and the future are all really happening now, but because of our perspective, we only see this one. Right? Imagine if this was something that's three-dimensional, it's been pressed flat. Right? Like we're living in 2D world, looking at something that's 3D. It's the same thing if you scale up. If you take something from 4D and 5D and scale it down to 3D, it's going to look like something sinking through the floor, for example. So with this Morgan Greer deck, what I want to do is I want to kind of see if I can find the crack in the table from underneath. What I want to do, there we go, is have something come through and find out what the issue is. That was just for demonstration purposes. And then I want to get a card after to kind of answer the issue. Right? I mean, there's only so many ways you can arrange cards to basically do the same thing. I could just have an outline and ask questions and then pull the cards. It doesn't really matter. And I just realized that this isn't really down where I need it. Let me get that back. Ugh. I'm going to have to put this over here. Angle that so it makes more sense. Oh, come on, man. So, I mean, it sort of makes sense that there's two cards that popped out in the past. Maybe there's some kind of entanglement. Although, I mean, technically we end up having, it's that sort of like 20/20 vision. We can always see the past better than what's going on now or in the future. Okay. Alright, without the cold air coming in, I don't need these sleeves. Alright. So now I got my left arm between the camera legs. And I know that looks messed up because of the, I'm going to put it back this way because because my table seam is making things look weird. Let's okay. Let's try it this way. That way it won't look that bad for people that are viewing. Okay. Alright, so we have the subject, and then I'll get the conclusion. It's like a research paper, introduction. You write the introduction, you write the conclusion, and then you write the body paragraphs. And then you gotta read in your little book on how to cite the sources. Do kids even do research papers anymore? Probably just copy and paste them from Google. When I was in 5th grade, we had to do research papers. We had to make all these like outlines and stuff, and I was really sick a lot in school, especially in 5th grade. I got stuck with this person who didn't want to do any work, so I had to do all the friggin' work myself. This is like huge, stressful new concept of doing a research paper that I don't think they really needed to introduce in 5th grade. I think they could have waited until 6th grade. There. Okay. So who really gives a shit about George Washington anyway? Yeah. Okay. Alright. So we have here the 8 of Cups. That's pretty sure that's Scorpionic energy. Yeah, of course, it's Saturn in Scorpio. Wait, no, not Scorpio. What the hell? Saturn in Pisces. There we go. That's what I wanted. Saturn in Pisces. So we see one of those retrogrades popping up already. Pisces has a retrograde energy in it. So in this card we could say that Saturn and Neptune are working together. We're working against each other here. I also see the moon here, which is bringing in moon energy. Little Red Riding Hood. It's making me think of that Sam the Sham and the Pharaoh song. Hey there, Little Red Riding Hood. You sure are looking good. You're everything a big bad wolf could want. Ow! It's kind of appropriate for Halloween. The Eight of Cups is normally about letting go of emotional baggage, right? I've set out all these sour cups and I'm getting away from them. It's about doing deep emotional work. When we think of Neptune energy, Piscean energy, as being deep water, like ocean water. Whereas the moon, Cancerian energy, is the surface water, the tides. And then the scorpionic water, this plutonic water, is like in the Marianas Trench or like underground cavern water. Right, the yin water. I get this as like turning the tide, but it's happening in this sort of dream space. Because if you think about Little Red Riding Hood, I mean, it's sort of a cautionary tale about little children being like raped and murdered in the woods. But it's coming in with this fairy tale background because Neptune tends to be this subconscious dream state. Right? It's like in my subconscious, maybe I've let go of emotional baggage, but in my reality, I haven't yet flushed it out of my physical body. All right, so we'll see what the cards come in with, but we see that there's this this push and pull between Neptune and Saturn as they go through these retrogrades. So we're looking at 8 here. So if I look specifically at October 8th, the moon is in Scorpio on the 8th, okay. But, see what happens is that Pluto goes direct on the 6th. And then the next direct movement is Saturn on the 11th. So I'm looking at the 8th, that's kind of right in between those two things. And then the other retrogrades are like the 18th that are going direct. Yeah, both of the other ones are on the 18th. So this is kind of a weird point in time. And we see that as the opening for the reading. Alright, so let's look at what the past in relation to this particular issue. It's like I've decided that I've let go of my emotional trauma, but it's haunting me in my sleep. Let's put it that way. So we have the star inverted. This is Aquarius energy. This is part of consciousness, right? It's inverted. I'm unconscious. This could also be misery, right? If it's upright, it's hope. We see Saturn is retrograde in Aquarius, and so is Jupiter. But we've been looking at Capricorn energy here. So this is that Capricorn retrograde. Which is something that could be happening now, as in all times are now, right? It's reflected that there would be a resolution to this problem during Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. But the energy is, in the past, misery. Love company. We have Princess of Wands. Or not Prince. Prince of Wands. I don't know why I read that as Princess, because that definitely is a different card. So this is the Knight in this deck. Now what happens when a Knight is inverted for me, it tells me the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is Neptune energy, right? Dealing with the subconscious, dealing with being unconscious, opening up the subconscious. This is illumination. And it's also like hot to trot and pretty rapid. The energy with the God damn it, with the Knight of Wands. Get the Scorpio and Sagittarius. So this is the other retrograde. But even the Jupiter retrograde and Scorpio retrograde, that's that Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. All of these are linked, the retrogrades. But we see here, we're getting this Plutonic Scorpionic energy kickback, and it's coming in with the Sagittarian energy of Jupiter retrograde as well. But this is sort of like, this is a hurry up and wait energy, right? My engine exploded. My car overheated. Right, which is actually what happened to me when my car died. It kept overheating and all the fluid fell out of the bottom of it. The hell was... Oh, I was going to say, fire energy with Plutonic energy is judgment. So this Prince of Wands can be 1 or it can be 11. And then I have this star energy, which is 17, which can break down to 8. I'm seeing this, why am I seeing that as a 4 though? It should be 12 or 1. It should be 3. And that should be 8 condensed. But I'm seeing this stars are relating directly to this 8 here. But I don't want to get too confusing. This is coming in as like varying different lower vibrations of judgment, or things that are going to be coming up for judgment. All right, so I have unhappiness, like I have like hopelessness and hurry up and wait kind of energy. Burnout, misery kind of energy. Which is probably why we want to walk away from all this. So the future energy that's speaking to this, right? Your guides are looking at your life text, right? Your contract. Your guides are looking at your contract, which you don't get to peek at once you're in the game, right? You read the manual and then you're not allowed to look at it till you're done. It's I just had an idea for what it was like. Oh, it was really good too. I thought of something, but it's gone. Okay. Oh, the book of the film. It's like the book of the film in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And it's like start turning the pages, and you can sort of move ahead from where you are, but the characters in it are sort of tied to the page that they're on, except for the gorilla hand, and that's kind of what your guides are doing. So this future energy that's speaking, that's sort of giving you the notes from the pages that come ahead. We have the Queen of Discs, so this right there is giving me that Saturnian energy. But the Queen of Pentacles energy is actually... Yeah, she's actually Saturn in Capricorn. So if I was following the pattern of how the energies move in these court cards, it goes Knight of Wands to Queen of Pentacles, and we see that movement in the future, right? We're moving along this great wheel of the sky from Scorpio to Sagittarius to Capricorn. But this card is upright, and she's in her power, and she's manifesting that which has not yet been manifested. That's been in the dream world. So the Queen of Discs. And I see this goat here as representing the devil, because I did think of this Capricorn energy here as a binding. Like things are bound up. She looks like she's looking into the distance in the same direction that this character is going, right? There's sort of a curve to the path. This sort of looking towards the future, which is what you'd expect if this card is in the future position. It's also making me think of this journey into the fall, right? It's like this... It's sort of like saying these retrogrades are completing this year, although I think some of these retrogrades don't turn until January. I don't know if it's written on here. Maybe it's on my other sheet for September stuff. Let's see. Let's see what it says. No, I didn't write the end dates. But some of the retrogrades are ending in like January, February, or other outer things are going to be moving. But what I see here is that as we close out 2022... that's not what I meant to say. As we close out 2021... Interesting. Maybe some people it's going to take another year. But as we close out this year, the next 3 months, like October, November, December, and maybe like the first week or two of January, like the first 8 days of January, there's going to be this completion of the cycle. Because if we think of this as trying to be judgment, Capricorn energy, Saturn energy, upright is the world. But we're dealing with these different energies that are kind of at a lower vibration. Right? And it's sort of like, in order to resolve toxic things that are low vibration, you have to kind of... It's not like you have to stoop to their level, but it's like you have to... It's like you have to... It's like if you want to destroy a building without explosives, what you do is you find the frequency of the concrete or the frequency of the steel that holds it together, and you put that frequency on it, and it'll like explode. It'll like crumble. So more or less. So this is what we're doing. We're meeting a low vibrational energy that's sour, that's toxic, with these energies that are essentially judgment and the world in that lower frame. Let's see what this current challenge is. Failure, the Seven of Discs. Saturn in Taurus. This is like running aground. This is like dry. It's like I haven't shaken this stuff apart yet. I've just kind of dried it out. It's a little bit like in at least the Disney cartoon. Well, I guess in the fairy tale in general. It's like in Sleeping Beauty, when, the first two fairies, come and they give Aurora the grace and the beauty and the blah blah blah. Actually, in the original story, it's 12 fairies. And after the 11th fairy bestows her gifts, they're running out of gifts, and the 12th fairy is like, geez, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna give. The evil fairy, aka Maleficent in the Disney, comes in and she's like, you're gonna die! Because your parents are assholes and didn't invite me even though I'm the evil fairy. So then the last fairy is like, well, you know, I can't undo it, but I can at least pretend like it's not gonna, like, actually kill her and she's just gonna sleep for 100 years. You know, because I'm not as strong a fairy and that's all I got. So thankfully she didn't have to think up some other grace to give her, but whatever. So this is what this is doing, right? It's like, I'm not a complete failure, but I can't undo it. Seven of Discs is usually to do with waiting for your harvest to come in. The Seven of Pentacles is like waiting for your harvest to come in, or impatience. It's like it's like I've mitigated my damage. Why am I not experiencing growth? But what's happening is I only have a 7 here. I'm trying to manifest clearing and growth. And we see that there's a dis-ease in the plants. The baggage that needs to be gotten rid of is at an 8. Right? In order to overcome this 8, I need to have a manifestation of 8 or higher. And this misery here is at an 8 as well, this star inverted. You see this Prince of Wands coming in at a 12, and the card that's responding to the 12 is this 13, which is overriding it. Right? This is it's like rolling dice. You know? So-and-so's got this orc, and it's going to attack you, and it's like, you roll a 1 damage, you breathe on his neck, he's slightly uncomfortable, instead of like rolling a 20 and like wiping out the whole problem. This is like this same thing sometimes when I'm looking at cards, that there has to be like a greater number on the card to overcome what the issue is. Right? If I wanted to overcome this challenge of, you know, eliminating the problem completely, you know, I'm like, oh, well, that fairy's just kidding, and my magic is greater. I'm going to come in with my gift at like a page of, like a 10 of Pentacles or a page of Pentacles, and I'm going to overcome this. But I don't have enough to get over it because my problem is bigger than this next, like this card needs to be greater than 8, and it's not. So I need a 9, a 10, or something bigger to have the change fully manifest and have this extraction of trauma come out of the physical body in order to move forward. Okay. You know, it's like there's a difference between understanding and being able to do things, right? It's like the simulator is not exactly the same as problem solving in an actual vessel. But it's definitely better than just reading it in a book. You know, it's like, I need to at least see a YouTube tutorial. This booklet isn't helping. Alright, so let's look at the conclusion to this. The Fool inverted. So that's more Aquarian energy. Uranus inverted. Is that retrograde? Where is that? Uranus is retrograding in Taurus. And I think that's coming undone in December, which might be why this is here. But the thing is, it's like we're not starting a new cycle yet. Because we haven't come to the world. Right? It's like I'm not gonna go off half-cocked. I'm not going to just go on vacation and pretend like my problems don't exist. I'm going to manifest a different world for myself entirely by how am I gonna say this? It's like, how does this, it's like, what it looks like is there's like lingering problems that don't have a universal timing until December. This thing is saying like it's not, you're not waiting until January, right? I said no later than January 8th. I want to clarify this Fool card because there's something missing. I'm going to get another Thoth card to back it up with. Oh, hold on. Okay. 5 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups, Page of Swords, and Page of Wands. Those are places where I've reassigned Uranus to different or unmarked cards. But I'm looking specifically at this 5 of Pentacles, where it's like this card is saying we're only working on Aquarian energy. But the fact that Uranus is retrograding in Taurus, it's like with the 5 of Pentacles is indicating that there'd been a feeling of being shut out. You know, like I've gotten blocked from success in some way. Why can't I have what other people have? Why isn't it working? And this Fool card is coming in and just entirely air element at all. It's like I'm in my head about where I'm going in the future, but I have enough energy to get past this idea of being shut out. Because I'm realizing that somebody trying to like mess up my stuff, like somebody trying to curse me or sabotage me in some way, it's like I'm not being threatened by that concept anymore. It's not that, though. That's part of this burden that I'm unloading, this emotional stuff that I'm not letting it be tied to me anymore when I finish this cycle. And it's weird because everything else here is at a lower vibration, but this Fool energy that's sort of representing the 5 of Pentacles, notice 7 and 5 is this 12, and then this matches this. It's, it's like, I don't know, it's really weird. There's like a gap in my ability to describe what I mean. And it's not just from the wine. I just heard it's like a cheat code. It's like the Konami code. I need a card to aggravate, to accentuate. And I want 3 cards, I just want 1. Should probably do this over here. These cards are smelly because they had perfume on them when I bought them. I'm hoping to use them for enough times for it to fucking... Alright, I guess I'm taking those 2. Alright, so what finally fell out to further describe what's going on with this Fool acting as the 5 of Pentacles inverted, which means that I'm finally like being let in, right? I'm being let into my own purpose, to my own manifestation. Now the card that came out here is 11, which in the Thoth deck is where the Strength card comes in, but here it's called Lust, and this is Leo energy. Here I'm seeing this more as like passion, and I was staring at this lion in particular when I was looking at this Prince of Wands. This is sort of like that which propels me forward is somehow really attractive to me. And because this is an 11, in some decks, Strength is 8 and Justice is 11, it builds this sort of switching back and forth. And notice how I said that there's nothing going on the 8th because Saturn doesn't go direct until the 11th. But if we look at the position of the Sun is in Libra, I think, on the 11th of October still. So it's setting up this duality nature, right? Where the Fool card is the Fool, but it's also still the 5 of Pentacles in this reading. This other card that came out is the Wheel of Fortune, which came out kind of mostly inverted. I don't know if this was inverted or not. It might have been. I wasn't really paying attention. But this is Sagittarius energy. This is Jupiter retrograde, which is also in Aquarius. It's just sort of reiterating what's going on there. But if I take this 11, I take this 10, that's 21. That is the World in Major Arcana cards. So I'm just going to put this here. Because the way that these cards, even though I didn't really explain that very well, the idea is that these cards are describing a clockwork. It's like a countdown, like T minus 2.5 months, right? And when we get to the countdown, when we get down to 0, it's not, we have nothing left. It's like, it's time to go. Things are moving. All right. So even though my triangle ended up with a lot of extra cards on it, that's what's going on with water energy. It reminds me of those water toys that have all these little things in them, and you push the buttons and the little things move around like they would in a lava lamp. You're trying to get these, like, I had this little pocket one. It was like red on the bottom. You push it, and then it had these shelves, and you're trying to get these little friggin' like alphabets looking plastic things in through the loops. Because there's a lot of little moving parts, but it's in this aqueous solution. And I don't remember if I was talking about solutions with this earlier, but I might have been with the energy report. But I definitely saw a video on Instagram earlier about solutions, which is weird. But I do have an energy report that's coming out either right before or about the same time as this video. It depends on how long the segments take to put together, because I have to do this one first because it's scheduled and I only have like a day left in my time before it has to be up. So this is what I have for water elementals. there's what was I gonna say? There's a lot of pulling with these retrograde energies, right? The Jupiter and Saturn are kind of having, like, kicking each other under the table with Neptune. And Pluto is also trying to pull into a different direction, right? It's like everything that you've been dealing with is coming up for a final judgment, right? There's some justice energy here, but it's like spiritually, emotionally, karmic baggage wise, you're about to have your day in court and finally not be on the losing end of things. But if it seems like it's not happening, if it's stuck in this hanged man position, that things have never been going your way in the past, there's the one thing that's going to help it pull through is to realize that not only do I have to think about and sort of meditate or feel in my heart that I'm letting go of this energy, you still have to let go of these, like, tension and engrams and stuff in the physical body, right? Like, I'm letting go of this person that I hate. I'm letting go, I'm forgiving somebody for stuff they did to me when I'm a kid, and then you go about your business, and it's like, why is my chest so locked up? Why am I sick to my stomach? Because it has to come out in the material world in order for this sort of the retrograde energy to be like, oh yeah, okay, we need to manifest that in the physical world too. And that's what happens when you get to that world energy, is a physical manifestation before the next idea. Aquarius energy comes in, right? The eureka moment, the synchronicity doesn't come in until the manifestation is like, oh, okay, we're doing this in the real world now. And that's the difference between the world and the fool. Right? So when we get that countdown towards the end of the year, then we get this this movement. Right? And there is just a little bit of the delay into 2022 whenever Uranus does go direct. Right, so all of this is happening, and then you get to that double 11. 22 is made up of two 11s, universal timing, doubling down. It's really going to help out. But in the meantime, there's a clearing, right? It's like Eminem, like I'm cleaning out my closet kind of energy. Emotional, physical, energetic, and so on, right? So if somebody's got their scummy curse on you, you're not just going to say, I'm not just going to mitigate it by, healing crystals. I'm going to break the curse entirely and stop feeling like crap and having somebody hold it over me that they've cursed me and they're winning over me or something. It's like you declare their curse to have no power, and then they can't do anything to you. And then you don't have to be in this gray area anymore. Okay? So if you want to get a personal reading, you got a complete list of readings that I offer. I haven't added the triangulation to the list yet. I got to think about that. I need to do it a few more times. That's the first time I've ever done it. All right, so if you want the triangulation, you could email me and ask, and I'll think about it. But in the meantime, I've got like 16 or some other readings listed down below in the description box underneath the video. That way. If you found this helpful or useful or interesting in some way, you might consider PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo for donation, tip jar, energy exchange. I have merch and prints and actual tangible art items there. Cafe Press, DeviantArt, and Etsy. 17% off if you get 3 or more items on Etsy. 3*17 that coupon. If you go through the link tree, it should pop in right at the top there. Everything here is through the link tree, so email and social media and everything. I've got 2 coloring books and a dark poetry book over there on Amazon, so check that out too. Check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. I did that out of order, so you know I'm all screwed up. Stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye. That was me waving, although it just looked like my hand attacking the camera. Let me try that again. Bye.